I am that type of person that will always hunt down performance, even if it's the slightest little bit of power, let's say 1 horsepower or 1 newton meters of torque, even 1 degree of ignition retardation. But today's video is nothing about performance, because there's one thing we cannot overlook, and that is reliability. So right here behind me, let me show you guys quick, I have got my Toyota Aygo. So this is a 1-liter 3-cylinder car, and is my daily. As much as this car needs to be reliable, because obviously the Audi, it can just break any moment, but the Toyota Aygo should be reliable nonetheless. I should always take good care of it. I'm not planning to do any mods on it whatsoever. So I did actually notice one new problem with it, and that's why I am specifically making this video today. Let me show you quick. Alright, so I turned my flashlight on for this. So let me give you guys a quick briefing. As you guys can see, air gets sucked in over here, follows through, the air filter is placed over here. So as you guys can see, there's the part of the air filter. I think the previous owners or whoever worked on the car, they actually chipped this plastic off, but there is no vacuum leak. It is 100% sealed, so it's still in working condition. I'll get this replaced in the future. So then the air goes in over here, goes all the way into the intake manifold, which leads this is like the open air space for the air. At the back is a throttle body going into the engine, and the exhaust manifold is here in the front, and there is my exhaust, my catalytic converter. Okay, so that is, I don't know even why I told you guys. So let me quickly show you guys what the new problem is. I don't think I have to show you guys anything else or tell you that you can clearly see this is oil. So obviously I don't like that. I don't like any leaks. So far this leak is not bad at all. I haven't saw anything on the floor or whatsoever. The floor is always clean. So yeah, okay, well, the car doesn't stand here. It stands all the way there at the back. But yeah, I didn't notice any leaks and stuff. I just like to fix something before it gets worse. And yeah, so it's a good thing I actually noticed this. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna change the tappet. So obviously right underneath this, let me quickly see if I can show you guys. So this plastic over here, so yeah, the tappet head cover on this car is plastic. So this plastic over here, between the plastic and the actual, let's say, where the head goes, is actually a rubber gasket. So I went ahead and bought myself one of them. So as you guys know, it's a 3-cylinder, 1, 2, 3 for the spark plugs, and then this obviously goes around the head, the top part of the head where the tappet cover sits on. So also, I just want to tell you guys before we get any further into it. So obviously this car, if I'm not mistaken, it also has a chain drive. So I saw when I was just doing some research that between the tappet head gasket cover, it doesn't cover the chain area as well. So you will have 2 stripes going out like either side of it that you actually got to use gasket maker. While we're talking about it, I think, sorry guys, this thing is a mess. Oh my gosh. So for this, we're also gonna need some gasket makers. So I've actually got a brand new one. This one I did use previously, but as you guys can see, I barely used anything. So I do actually have a full one somewhere in my toolbox. I just don't know where the heck I put it, but I'll find it. So I'll probably not use this one, even though there's nothing wrong with it. We'll see how time goes. So anyway, okay, so let's quickly get started. So for this, the easiest thing to remove is obviously just this pipe over here. I'm gonna just unclip it. Oh man, I love this small table. I don't know why I'm so fussed about it. That's all I gotta deal with, and it's doing fantastic. Okay, so then what we gotta do is we gotta clip these clips off at the back. This entire part actually lifts up. Just got like a rubber clip over there. Okay, and there you guys can also see my air filter. So I did a service about maybe 5,000 to 10,000, no, not that much, about 5,000 kilometers ago. So this air filter is still fine. So what I'm gonna do is for now, I'm gonna leave it out. So let's quickly place it over here. Okay, so let me quickly just get my camera stand, because now I'm gonna start to need 2 hands. Okay, so now for the next part. Honestly, I think if we can remove this entire air intake system, it's going to be much easier to get to all the bolts. Apparently, there's like 15 bolts, and then, yeah, so imagine trying to get to all the ones at the back, and there's also a few sensors we got to unclip. So let me quickly put the flashlight on again. So if we look all the way here at the back, you can actually see there is the throttle body. So then right above it, there is a clip. So I don't think I'll be able to get this on the camera, but I'm going to be using a water pump plier just to get it in there and actually squeeze it, and then just trying to loosen it up so we can get this entire part off. Okay, and there we go. So trust me, I did not even closely get this water pump plier in there. Let me just quickly fix my camera resolution. There we go. So I didn't get the water pump in there. I actually used my bare hands. So as you guys can see, it is pretty tight, but it is manageable. So I actually got my Allen keys. I just took this size over here. It doesn't really matter. It's the size 5.5. I just took it to actually hook it up and turn it a little bit closer to me. So I could have grabbed it with my hands because I was pointing a bit more towards the back side. So I couldn't get a proper grip on it. So there we go, this part is off, and from now on it's gonna be so much easier. I actually kind of stressed about this part of the year. I was like really trying to figure out how the heck I'm gonna get it out. Give you guys an idea, there's the throttle body. Oh my gosh, it's so small. Literally, like, here is my thumb, and I didn't really have such big hands. So here is the thumb, my thumb, and that's super small. That is such a small throttle body. Okay, so let's quickly have an overlook of everything. I think what we're gonna do first now is just to unplug everything. So quickly, gonna try to, okay, I'm gonna probably need 2 hands for this as well. Okay, so from here on it is gonna be very simple. We're just gonna go and remove all of these bolts over here. So in total there is supposed to be 15 bolts. That is crazy. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and remove them. Also, I just removed this breather pipe over here. We do have got a few places where a few clips is intact, such as over here, down there. Let me just quickly put my flashlight on. There we go. And then also I just want to tell you guys, like, if you look over here, this is obviously your O2 sensor, so it's clipped in right over here. So you want to just remove everything, get everything like away around the engine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly start to remove everything, and well, to remove all the bolts and move everything. If I do see something that you guys need to know, I'll just show you guys straight there. Alright, so I currently have got, I hope, all the bolts out. How many bolts do we have? We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16. And I don't know if you guys saw, but yeah, for the O2 sensor, this one right over here, I accidentally dropped it somewhere. I don't know what is up with this car. You can drop anything, it just doesn't drop on the floor. It is so darn annoying. Okay, so the only thing I want you guys to know is that I was actually looking for the bolts from this side upwards, and it turns out that they are inside this pocket over here. So because I was trying to understand why the heck I couldn't get this out, or why it was so stiff. So yeah, let's quickly try to see what's gonna happen if I lift it up. Oh, there we go. Came loose pretty easy. Does feel like there is some tension over here. I don't know if it's because of this entire harness up here. Looks like we can just unclip it over here. Okay, let's quickly try to lift it up over here. Okay, that's so cool, man. This entire thing is loose. Let me just quickly figure out what we gotta do at this part. Okay, so as I wanted to remove this Tappet head cover, I did come across a little problem. So as I mentioned to you guys, it was this over here. So this, to actually remove it, was pretty simple. It just got a clip here, you lift up and you slide it back. If we go further back, it has this clip, you just technically press it in, it lifts up and you can pull it out. Then we've got a small air hose over here. As you guys can see, it's got a clamp over here. You can literally just press it with your hand as well, and you can just remove it off of over here. Okay, so the problem I'm having now is this wire harness. So just to give you guys an idea, I did not break the clips. So it's actually in there pretty darn good. So let me show you guys quickly what I've done. So I've got this flat over here, very little flat. And as you guys can see, you can actually move it up. Sorry, I just want to hold it a bit better. Okay, so let me press a bit harder. So as you guys can see, it's got some flex to it. So what you want to do is you actually want to press it in and then lift the wiring up. So just note that it has it on both sides. This side is for whatever reason a bit damaged, so you got to press into one side while trying to pull this entire harness up, and then going over to the other side and press it in, and it will just pop straight out. So here is the other clip I've done. Also same thing, just press it in, lift the harness up and press it in again. So maybe over here I can give you guys a proper view of it. So I also want to remove this harness over here. So we press in the one side. So as you guys can see, I'm already putting some tension on the wiring harness. I will press in the other side and it clips out. So there we go. It was actually such a massive job just to get this part out. So if you guys are not aware of what you're seeing over here, this side is the intake camshaft, this side is the exhaust camshaft. How do I know that? Because the exhaust is sitting this part and the intake is sitting at that part. So right over here, as you guys can see, is our cam sensor. Is actually connected, or well, not connected, but right there in front. As you guys, where is my, hold on, let me see if I can explain it properly to you guys. So here is the camshaft sensor, and as you guys can see, it doesn't 100% touch it. So how it works is it actually has a magnet on the inside. So one of these, let me see if I can get a bit closer. one of these, oh, right over here, as you guys can see, is much smaller than the other ones. So technically what happens is that the sensor works with a magnetic field. So obviously it can pick up this magnetic part over here. So as this cam is actually turning, as you can see, this is a very little piece. So as it gets that huge gap, the sensor, which will obviously let the ECU know that where the cam is currently at. So the crank sensor also works very similar. So yeah, there we go. So let's quickly inspect. Right over here, as you guys can see, this is where it was leaking. So as you guys can see, they might have placed on just a little bit too much of this gasket sealant or something. You can see it was leaking out straight over here in this part. So that's why this side of the engine looks so darn horrible. To be honest, it actually looks horrible the entire way through. So let's quickly get here to the back. So this is also the fuel rail, and as you guys can see, there is our injector number 1, 2, and wait, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then obviously this is our spark plug wiring hanging here in the front of us. So yeah, here is our chain. By the looks of it, the tension is good. I don't want to fiddle around too much. The tension still looks pretty tight, and also the chain looks like it's in good condition. Obviously at this moment, you just want to make sure everything is fine, everything is good, and etc. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is technically I'm gonna clean all of this off. I'm gonna clean all the flanges and stuff, and then also, like I told you guys earlier, this side by the timing section, we have got to put a little bit of this, what do you call it, damn it, gasket maker. So this is what you guys are seeing over here and also over there. But why it's making those stippling marks here, I am not 100% sure why. So anyway, before we actually continue. Okay, so for this part, it's actually, I don't know what the heck happened here. Let me quickly show you guys that here is the gasket. As you guys can see, this exact gasket got right over there. So it's actually got like a bit of a round piece to it. So it's actually very simple. It just presses straight into there. That is fine. The thing that bothers me is something you guys haven't seen yet. So I don't know what the freaking previous owners did, because it looks very dirty, right? But look on the inside. What the heck is that? So I can tell you guys now straight away that this is not a water and oil mix. I know a lot of people is going to be like, your water and oil is mixing. It's not. It's like, if I rub it, it's not moving. It's just dirt, right? But it is like someone pasted, like, I don't know what it is, like a gasket maker or something. The only thing that I can think is that maybe somehow something got damaged in here, which I'm not sure what it could be. That's why, by the looks of how far it's in on the inside, I wonder if it's not something over here. Like maybe, I'm not sure. So I actually took a couple of minutes to analyze this entire Tappet head cover. Just obviously this is bonus. Obviously if you guys want to continue to change the gasket or install a new Tappet head cover, you guys can go ahead and revert everything I just did, which I will show you guys later in a video anyway. But yeah, because this is bothering me so much and I'm a guy that wants answers, technically obviously I'm no expert, but just common sense is that this entire plastic cover should be flat. Like 100% flat, because obviously as you guys can see here, there's no lumps or whatsoever. So whatever needs to sit on here, which is the Tappet cover, has to be flat. So I actually just got this small plastic piece over here. As you guys can see, it's completely flat, as we really want it to be. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this gasket off over here. And yes, I have done already. I just wanted to show you guys how to remove the gasket. Let's just drop it in over there. Okay, so we're gonna start here by this side. As you guys can see, obviously this side is nice and clean. Oh gosh, obviously now we've got the sun in our way. Okay, this is a little bit better, just a bad view of over there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this plastic piece, I'm gonna place it on the inner side of this where the gasket should be. So we're gonna drop it over there and we're gonna drop it over there. So you guys can see I'm not cheating. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go flush. As you guys can see there, we are pretty flush as it can be, and it's straight. I mean, if I do lift it up a bit, obviously you can see my fingers, but I would say that is about flush. So let's quickly do the other side. So, oh, my finger just went straight in front of the camera there, I'm sorry. So we're quickly gonna turn it around. I really need a bigger table. Sorry, table, you did good for as long as you did. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same. We're gonna place it here on the inner sides. There you guys can see, oh, it's touching. Oh gosh, really? It's touching, and it's touching over there. So it's touching this side, it's touching that side. Okay, so let's quickly move down. So I would say that this is about flush. Okay, sorry, I'm just shaking a bit over here. So yeah, I would say this is about flush. And as you guys can see, you can see my finger a little bit over here. I'm trying to keep it as steady as I can. So even if I go further down, you guys can see that the corners disappears first before my finger disappears. Okay, so let's take it down. You guys can see the corners is already gone. And you can still see my finger. Okay, so I do hope you guys can see it. So I think whatever happened here, it technically warped the plastic if it got damaged or whatever the cause might be. So I think it warped a bit, and that is what's happening. It's pushing out all the oil over here. So something I might have to do is I might have to change the Tappet cover, or what I can do is just add some extra sealant over here, gasket maker. Oh yeah, and just to show you guys how freaking blind I am, here's my toolbox, and here is a new gasket maker. I knew I had it somewhere. There we go, gosh. So what I actually did now was I cleaned out the entire cover, and as you guys can see, this is normal plastic, untouched plastic. But if you look here, you can see that definitely there is something going on here. And I mean, it's clean, look at that. It's not like it's even dirty. Obviously it has a bit of oil, but it's not as in dirty as it looks like. So you can see definitely I think this cover did get damaged at some time, and that is why it might be a little bit warped, if I can say it like that. So obviously I do not like this. I want to replace the complete unit. Sadly enough, I called, they don't have stock. It's gonna take about 10 to 15 days for delivery. How crazy is that? So buddy, you're gonna stand. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna put that Tappet cover back on. Not just it is gonna take very long for the cover to arrive, this cover is also extremely expensive. I can't believe it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the new gasket on. We're gonna seal before you guys forget. So as you guys can see right over here, it's got like a small flange. I just want to clean this up a little bit more, but it's got like a small flange. Technically what this is that this side of the head, as you guys can see, it's splitted over there, and also here at the back. Also just want to clean this up a bit more. It's technically splitted. So what that means is that we can actually take this cover off to work on the timing instead in the timing. What am I saying? To work on the timing instead of like removing the entire head. So this entire head is technically divided by 2. So what you want to do is just put a little bit of the goodness, these cars are going crazy today. You want to take just a little bit of gasket maker, just put it on the seam and put it there on the seam, and you're done. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna put this gasket back. We're just gonna obviously have a look. Maybe the previous gasket I was on was also just totally destroyed, or whatever the case is. Maybe with a fresh gasket, it will hold out for as long as it possibly can, and then we'll obviously end up by changing the head in, well, the Tappet cover in the future. Okay, so we are almost done. We are just left with literally putting the air filter back, clipping all of these clips in, and I forgot to actually tell you guys that you guys will probably find it out. Here is more clips that clips in over there. It was so darn difficult to get him out. Here's another clip, and it also clips in over there. So yeah, they were a bugger to get out. I actually just kept on shaking them until they actually came loose. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually just gonna start the car as is. All the coils is in, the tappet head cover is down. Also, when I did tighten the tappet head cover down, there is no pattern to it. You can actually tighten it as you please according to the manual I got for the tappet head cover. But when it comes to heads, whenever you actually tighten the head down to the block, they have got a very nice rhythm of starting from the middle, pushing it outwards and outwards. So technically you'll tighten it down, tighten it down, tighten it down, and then tighten it down, then tighten it down to push like the entire gasket outwards, which is pretty cool. So you don't have like, let's say you just tighten, you'll have a bubble on the inside. So yeah, just something for you guys to consider. So once again, I just decided to do that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm quickly gonna start the car as is. I just want to see if there's any leaks in whatsoever. Obviously, if I put a big cover back on the top, whew, I'm actually out of breath now. So yeah, if we put the big cover back at the top, we won't be able to inspect all the way around it to see where it's leaking or not. Then also, I dropped this bolt somewhere. I just don't know where. Maybe I quickly just gotta find it before we start the car. Okay, so let me get the bolt and then we'll start her up. Okay, so let's just have a look. There we go, car's in neutral, handbrake is up. Okay, just give it some time to prime. Start straight away. Alright, so now we're gonna do the visual inspection. Okay, so far I don't see anything. Okay, so we are reaching the part right over here where it used to leak. Currently, so far, it looks good. Everything looks great. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna leave the car. Sorry, I don't know if you guys have even heard me. What I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna leave the car to idle a bit, just get the oil flowing, get the car's temperature up a little bit, and just to see what it's gonna do then. Okay, and I know we have got a few people that are nosy because there is the throttle body. It looks like it's slightly tilted open. Very, very slightly. So obviously if I have to put my hand on it, which I'm not gonna do, the car will shut down because of obviously not having oxygen. Okay, now I'm talking too much. So there we go. Okay, so the car was idling for some time. So let's quickly just have another quick inspection. As you guys can see, oh, that is so much better. So I did, while the car was idling, I did clean it a bit. You guys will see from the before and after, it does look a little bit different. So let's just have a look. I don't see anything standing out. Okay, all looks good. Everything looks good. Going over this side. And there we go. Fantastic. And there we go. It was actually not that difficult. I do want to motivate you guys though. There's something I did not know when I was gonna attack what we did today. And that was that the timing side, you know, the timing part of the head and the actual other side of the head, that they are not one piece. If I didn't do research about that, literally I would have had a leak now because I didn't know we had to put gasket maker there by the two where they match up. So I just want to motivate you guys that yes, if you have got an Aygo or similar engines with a 1 liter engine, a 3-cylinder whatsoever, you might have the exact same piece of head like I have, two separate pieces. So in that case, this is going to help you guys out to show you guys that you should add some gasket maker. But if you're having a different car, remember what I did here today can also be done on inline 4s, V6, V8s. Obviously, there is a little bit of a difference. Some might not use the rubber gasket like I had. Some of them might use a different material gasket. Or they might have a little bit more hoses, or the tappet cover like mine is plastic. Yours might be metal. Who knows? So obviously, there's going to be a little bit of difference from car to car, but the basics remains the same. I just want to motivate you, if you are going to do this on another car, really take some time just to read through just some information, or just do some research on that specific model. Maybe there's something you did not know that you should have known. You understand? So anyway, I'm gonna drop this video right over here. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed this small tutorial, informative, educational kind of video. I think it was. I hope it was. But for now, peace out, everyone.